is. Hey, it's me, Max Thunder. That's right, Adventure Man, international explorer, wilderness pioneer, and lover of all things of the outdoors. You know what? I don't even sleep inside. I always sleep outside. All right, my bed is made of a bunch of leaves and dirt and twigs. It's awesome. And my pillow, I just use a rock. Hey, it's better than a Sleep Number bed. All right? Hey, I am so happy to be with you today because guess what? I almost didn't make it. So last week, had an epic adventure. I was seeking the Fountain of Youth. That's right. Hey, Max Thunder, he ain't getting any younger. And I thought one sip from the Fountain of Youth would give me the energy I needed to persevere through these adventures that almost kill me every week. All right? So I found an ancient map that was going to lead me to the Fountain of Youth. And you know where I found that map? It was taped to the wall in a bathroom at a Dairy Queen in Gresham. But I found that map, and just as I always suspected, the Fountain of Youth is in a cave behind Multnomah Falls. That's right. So I jumped in my Jeep, and traffic was horrible on 205. I didn't think I was ever gonna make it. All right, but got on 84 and got a little bit better, and well, it took me hours to find a place to park, and then there was this family from Texas that wanted me to take a picture of them. All right, hey, but I persevered. All right, and then I climbed up and over and around and then through the falls into the cave. And guess what? It wasn't the Fountain of Youth. It was something even better. It was a fountain of Dr. Pepper. That's right, Dr. Pepper. Hey, one sip, now it's good to go. Hey, and I'm so glad I took that sip because now I'm here. There's no place I'd rather be. You know the drill. We got teaching, games, crafts, memory verse. It's gonna be epic and awesome. We're gonna kick it off with some worship.
And I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I'll become even more undignified than this. Someone says foolishness, but I'll become even more undignified than this. I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I'll become even more undignified than this. Some would say it's foolishness, but I'll become even more undignified than this. Na 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 na. 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 And I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, like nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I will dance, I will sing to be mindful, my King. Nothing, Lord, hindering His passion in my soul. I'll become even more undignified than this. Some would say it's foolishness, but I'll become even more undignified than this. Na 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 na. 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 Oh, for
kids, Teacher Kathleen here. As always, it's great to be with you, and I'm super excited to tell the story today. And I'm going to start off with a question. I was wondering, what is something that you have complained about recently? Like maybe your mom made something for dinner that wasn't your favorite. Maybe you've had some conflict with a sibling, a sister, or a brother. Maybe you're just missing friends and your normal activities. I mean, we all have some hard stuff going on. And unfortunately, as humans, we have the tendency to complain and grumble. I mean, even that word grumble sounds like you're complaining, doesn't it? Grumble, grumble. But really, does complaining or grumbling, does it ever do us any good? No, it doesn't. I mean, it really just reveals that our hearts aren't in a good place and that we're actually not thankful for what we have. And when it comes to complaining and grumbling, the Israelites are no exception. All right, we're going to see in today's story that they actually complain a lot and they neglect to trust God. So before we jump in, let's actually review where we were last week. All right, Teacher Chandra taught us about how God miraculously rescued the Israelites and Moses, right, from Pharaoh and from their lives of slavery in Egypt. He led them across the Red Sea and safely to freedom on the other side. And the Israelites, when they arrived at the other side, they celebrated. I mean, Exodus chapter 15, it starts off with the Israelites lifting up praise and worship to God. It was such a beautiful scene. However, it did not take long for their attitudes to change. We're going to travel with the Israelites today as they enter into their journey in the wilderness. And we're going to see that they doubt Moses' leadership. Their faith in God falters. All right. However, despite all of this, God remains faithful and he provides for their needs. Okay, so we're in Exodus. Remember, that's the second book of the Bible. And we're at the end of chapter 15, all right? And this is verse 22. Then Moses led Israel from the Red Sea. They went into the desert of Shur. For 3 days they traveled in the desert without finding water. When they came to Marah, they could not drink its water because it was bitter. So the people grumbled against Moses, saying, "What are we to drink?" Okay, now it would be hot and it would be dry in the desert, so it's understandable. The Israelites are thirsty, all right, and it would also be discouraging to drink bitter water. I mean, imagine being really thirsty and you finally find water and you go to drink it, but it tastes awful and you spit it out. Again, it would be discouraging, so we get it. They're thirsty, they're discouraged, but what seems strange is that they seem to have forgotten what happened just days earlier when God, again, miraculously rescued them from the Red Sea. Instead of trusting in God, who had provided for them in such an amazing way, instead of crying out, calling to him, they start to complain, they start to grumble, they start to doubt Moses. And you know, it's funny, at this point in the story, I find myself kind of getting irritated at the Israelites. I want to say, come on, guys, stop whining. I mean, trust in God. Look what he just did for you. But if I'm honest, I do the same thing, right? We all do. It seems like we don't like hardship. And when we find ourselves in a challenging situation, it's easy just to go to the default of just complaining instead of looking up to God and depending on him. And you know, it's when we trust in God that so often we see him just bring blessing out of hardship. We see him just surprise us and just do unexpected things. And it actually makes me think of a story of when I was a senior in high school. I was applying to colleges and I was waitlisted at my first choice of school. Now, to be waitlisted just means you don't get in. And if they have spots that open up later, then you get in. And I was crushed. I was so disappointed. This is the school I really wanted to go to. And I was just bummed. And I remember my mom saying, "Kathleen, God must have something really great in store for you at this second choice of school." And I didn't listen to her. You know, I just continued to be in a bad mood, continued to complain. But as you may have guessed, it turned out great. My mom was right. And side note, moms tend to be right. It was an incredible 4 years. I went to the school in North Carolina called Wake Forest. I loved it. God just provided in so many amazing ways, a wonderful community of friends. I learned a lot. I grew in my faith. It was such a formidable time in my life that God just used in a powerful way. And I wish, looking back, that when I was a senior in high school, that I had just trusted God, that I had just put my hope in Him and just waited to see what He had in store for me. All right, well, Moses does trust in God, fortunately, and he is looking to God to provide the answers. So when the people are complaining and grumbling to him, he goes to the Lord. All right, and this is what happens. Then Moses cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood. He threw it into the water, and the water became sweet. Okay. This must have been really unexpected. I bet none of the Israelites thought this is how the Lord was going to provide for them, right? Moses, he gets a stick, all right? This is what the Lord instructs him to do. Gets a stick, he tosses it into the water. There it goes, tosses it into the water. And all of a sudden, the water becomes sweet. It becomes refreshing. It becomes good to drink. I mean, imagine all those Israelites. They're so thirsty, and they get to drink that water, and they realize it's a gift from God. I mean, what an amazing moment. I love that. Okay, now how does the chapter end? Chapter 15 ends there. They come to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and they camp there near the water. I mean, again, I'm sure they were not expecting to be camping under palm trees and near springs of water, but that's how God is. He loves to bless His children who trust in Him. Okay, now chapter 16. It starts with the Israelites. They're moving on. Remember, the goal is to get to the promised land. So at this point in time in history for the Israelites, they are constantly on the move. Well, it doesn't take long for them to start complaining again. All right, this is what happens. This is verse 2 and 3 of chapter 16. In the desert, the whole community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The Israelites said to them, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt. There we sat around pots of meat and ate all the foods we wanted, but you have brought us out into the desert to starve this entire assembly to death." I mean, wow, this is some extreme complaining and grumbling. I mean, they are definitely jumping to the worst case scenario, right? Instead of trusting God, instead of looking to Him, they immediately assume that they're just going to starve and die. I mean, again, I find myself looking at the Israelites saying, get it together. I mean, gosh, God has provided in the past, just trust Him. But again, do we do the same thing? Do we sometimes jump to the worst case scenario when we're facing something challenging? Yes, I think we do. Like, what could be an example? Like, maybe you got a teacher this year that you were really not wanting to get, and you just immediately thought, this is going to be the worst school year ever. Or maybe your family has to move to a new place, a new neighborhood, and you just immediately assume, I'm going to lose all my friends and I'm never going to make new friends. I mean, that's sometimes our tendency, just to just jump right to the worst case. All right, but again, God invites us to trust Him, to hope in Him, and to see what good He can bring out of a hard situation. This is a lesson I think that I've learned as I've gotten older and I've grown in my faith, that I've learned to just be on the lookout for blessings, big and small, even when I'm facing something hard. And going back to those two examples that I gave earlier, I mean, maybe God had in store for you that you would find this wonderful friendship in that new class or in that new neighborhood, and you would have never have found it if God had not put you in that place at that specific time. All right, so back to our story with Moses. Remember, the people are hungry. They think they're going to starve to death. So what does Moses do? He looks to God. All right, and God has this word for Moses. This is verse 4. The Lord said to Moses, I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people are to go out each day and gather enough for that day. In this way, I will test them, and I will see whether they will follow my instructions. Okay, this is incredible. God is literally going to rain food down from heaven. All right, and the people are to go out and they're to collect enough for each day. If they collect too much, well, it will be rotten for the next day. So why do you think God would have this plan? Why just enough for each day? Well, it seems that he is teaching the Israelites to trust Him to meet their needs for each specific day. Because, as people, we have the tendency to look ahead, right? To worry about the future, when God is really just asking us just to trust Him today and not to look too far ahead. Okay, so what happens next? Well, God has promised them bread, all right? And then He's also promised them meat to eat in the evenings. So let's see how this all plays out. All right, this is verses 13 through 16. That evening, quail came and covered the camp, and in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. When the dew was gone, thin flakes like frost on the ground appeared on the desert floor. When the Israelites saw it, they said to each other, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord has commanded. Each one is to gather as much as he needs. Take an omer for each person you have in your tent." Okay, you guys, God did exactly what He promised Moses. All right, in the evenings, there was meat for the Israelites to eat that came in the form of quail. That's like a little bird. And in the mornings, there was bread that was just spread out on the ground for them to collect each day. And the people called it manna. And manna actually means, what is it? All right, they called it that because they didn't know what it was when they first saw it. They didn't realize what it was. Now, when I picture manna, I picture like thin little crackers, all right, like kind of flaky little wafers or crackers. The Bible doesn't tell us exactly what it looked like, but that's kind of what I imagine. But we know it was filled with nourishment and it met the Israelites' needs for food. All right, so amazing. Now, the way this story closes out is God instructs the Israelites to collect twice as much on the 6th day, all right, because the 7th day was to be a day of rest. This is how it's described. This is verses 22 and 23. On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much, 2 omers for each person. And the leaders of the community came and reported this to Moses. He said to them, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Tomorrow is to be a day of rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord." Okay, God knew the Israelites needed rest, right? They needed to take a break from their work and to focus on God and His goodness and just to rest. And we need the same thing, right? This is why the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath, is one of the 10 Commandments, because God knows us. He knows we need a break from our routines. He knows that we need time to seek Him and just to rest in Him, to spend time with our families, to do things that bring us joy and fill us up. And the thing about the Sabbath, it doesn't have to look the same for everyone, but it's important for each family to decide how they are going to decide to observe the Sabbath, how they're going to make that day special and to seek the Lord that day. All right, this story, I think it's great for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of just rich truth in it, and I actually like to compare it to last week, because last week, again, we saw God show up in this huge event, right, delivering the Israelites across the Red Sea. Today, we see God show up, and He's just meeting the Israelites' needs in the day-to-day. And I like that because it reminds us, God does. He shows up in really big ways and really big events, but He's also just there in our daily routines, and He's just meeting our needs along the way. So I think these two stories really go hand in hand together. All right, I've got 2 takeaways for you today. The first one is, when faced with a challenging situation, let us trust the Lord. All right, let us remember that God is faithful. Let us be on the lookout for those sort of unexpected blessings that He brings out of hardship. And let us not be too quick to complain. Okay, number 2, all right? Let us not spend too much time looking ahead, worrying about the future. God invites us to trust Him with today's needs. So let us just be content where we are, to be thankful for what God has given us today. All right, those are some things to remember, and let me pray to close us out. Father God, I'm so thankful for today. I'm thankful for this story. Lord, I'm thankful for your faithfulness, for your provision, for your goodness. Lord, even when we doubt, even when we complain, you are faithful. So Lord, help us to trust in you, help us to find hope in you. And I just ask your blessing on every family that's represented here today, and it's in your name that I pray. Amen. Okay, guys, in a minute you're going to see a couple questions. It'd be great if you guys would push pause and just discuss them with your family or whoever you're with. And just know that we love you, we miss you, and we're praying for you. And I'll see you next time.
Mr. Greg,
Hey,
you remember our verse from last week?
of course I do.
You sure?
Yeah.
You got it?
Maybe.
Let's practice it again.
I'm not so sure now.
I know, well, you've been writing a lot of songs lately. I just
Woo!
wanted to make sure.
All right, let's try this. We'll see how much you guys remember from when we taught it to you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart
Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
and lean not on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
In all your ways acknowledge Him.
In all your ways acknowledge Him.
He will direct your path.
He will direct your path.
In all your ways acknowledge Him.
In all your ways acknowledge Him.
He will direct your path. He will direct your path. Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
In all your ways acknowledge Him.
In all your ways acknowledge Him.
He will direct your path.
He will direct your path.
In all your ways acknowledge Him.
In all your ways acknowledge Him.
He will direct your path. He will direct your path. Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Oh, you did remember it.
I hope you guys remembered that. Good work.
Hey, thanks. You too.
Hey, River West kids! As you know, today we've been talking about the Israelites in the wilderness and how God provided for them in miraculous ways. And one of the things that He provided was manna, right? That was like kind of the bread that the Israelites found in the morning when they would wake up, and they were able to collect enough for each day. But they remember they didn't know what it was. That's why it's called manna, because manna actually means what is it? So we're gonna play a little game today where someone is going to have to be able to identify items that they cannot see, that they don't know what they are. All right, so here's what you do. You get a bag. You can write what is it on it if you want to, but you fill the bag with just random items. Then you get a partner that doesn't know what the items are, and you let them reach their hand in, and they give them about 10 seconds to try to identify just by feeling them what they are, and then at the end you can pull out the items and see how many they got right. All right, so I'll just demonstrate this for you, but I need a partner. So wait, let me look. Oh my gosh, it's Max Thunder.
Hey! Teacher Kathleen!
I mean, you just seem to show up at the right time.
I haven't seen you since the trust fall.
I mean, yeah, I'm glad you're still hanging
Great to be
around.
here. Great to be here.
Good. Well, do you have a second? Do you want to play a little quick game with me?
With you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. All right, so you got a bag here. I put some items in it, and notice it says, what is it on it? Because you're gonna have to identify what's in the bag just by feeling the items. You can't look.
Got it.
You sure you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, all right. All right, no looking, no
I'm not
cheating.
looking. I'm not looking.
We don't,
Wait, can I trust you?
yeah.
So, is something gonna bite me?
There's nothing alive in here.
So there's something dead?
There's nothing dead. There's just things,
I
like
don't know.
just objects.
I don't know if I want to play this game, but
It's an awesome game.
all right.
Okay.
So I'm
You're just reaching in and feeling.
Okay.
And then you try to identify.
Ooh.
Don't be scared, Max.
Ugh. Something slimy.
There's
and
nothing slimy.
gross. Oh wait, I found one. Okay, feel it.
Okay, so try. No, just reach around for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, now pull your hand out.
Pull my hand out.
Yep. Okay, now tell me. Give me some ideas of things that you think. are in there.
Oh. I think a bowling ball.
No, actually.
Okay, a water slide.
Okay, think about the size of the bag, Max. Think
Oh,
about the
okay.
size of the bag. What would be logical?
A little bowling ball.
Okay.
I got
No.
a teeny little bowling ball.
Oh, there's not a teeny bowling ball. Wow, this was harder than I thought it would be.
Wait, give me another chance. Okay,
All right.
hold on. Is that a mouse trap?
Not a mousetrap.
But a mouse.
No.
Something fuzzy.
Maybe I'll just kind of let you see what the items were.
Here, why don't you
and
show
we'll
me?
see how close
So I
you
think
got.
I was close.
He was so close. Well, this maybe is what you were thinking was the bowling ball. It's actually a ping pong ball.
I get those confused.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only one.
We had a glue stick. I mean, I don't think we got close on that one.
I thought maybe that was lipstick.
We had a fake spider.
Oh, nice.
So, I don't know. Maybe that was the mouse for you? I'm just
No, something
kind of-
fuzzy.
Oh, wait. Okay, here's the fuzzy. The feather.
Ah,
It's a feather.
birds. Yes.
And I'll do one more. There was a rubber band.
Oh, I didn't even feel that.
Well, it was in there.
Okay.
All
Nice
right.
job. Okay.
Well, listen, next time I need a game partner, I'll look for you.
Hey, I'll be your partner anytime.
Great. All right. Bye, guys.
Hi friends, Teacher Nicole here. I'm so excited to spend the day with you today. Today, Moses and the Israelites were wandering around in the desert and they were grumbling and they were complaining and you know how that goes. Anyway, but God still provided for them. And in the morning he gave them manna, and at night he gave them quail in the evening. So we're going to make a quail today. Are you ready? Oh, you should have printed off 2 of these guys. 2 of them. Because quails don't just have 1 wing, they have 2. Oh, then you're gonna color your 2 wings, your 1 beak, right here. Oh, your 2 feet, and then your 1 little quail feather up at the top. I'm gonna do my best to cut this out, 2 of them at the same time, because that is just gonna speed up our process. So, we don't really always talk about the quail in this story because, I don't know about you, I always focus on the manna when I'm telling this story, because how cool is it that manna's actual translation is, what is it? I don't know what it is, but apparently it was sweet, and you weren't supposed to gather more than what you could eat, otherwise it would turn gross and maggoty, and who wants maggots in their manna? Not me. But God is just so good at taking care of his children. How did he take care of you this week? Did he give you food? Do you, when you're complaining to your parents, do they still feed you? Probably. Oh, just like God does. He just cares so much about you. So, we are almost done cutting out our little quail feet. And you could even cut out, instead of coloring your quail feet, you could cut them out of construction paper, whatever color. Maybe black quail feet, maybe you wanted brown quail feet. So, I'm gonna take this, and you know what, for today's purposes, I'm going to staple it because that's gonna be a little bit faster. But you could use glue, you could use tape. This is just gonna work for me. So, 1 quail foot, because they have to walk. 2 quail feet. Oh man. Then I'm gonna give them some wings. Oh no! You guys, this is where live TV is hard, because you know what I just realized? One of the quail's wings is right, and then the other one is upside down. So you'd have to turn it this way. But for right now, here we go. We'll just do it this way. But then you'll know to make sure you make the wings in the correct direction. I know you can do it. But even if you do like what I did, that's okay. Because it's just to help us remember the story and that God takes care of his children. And you are one of God's children. And your parents are, even though they're an adult, they're still God's child. And God loves you. And your parents and your grandparents so much. What else do you think the Israelites were grumbling about? They're probably grumbling about water. I know that they were. They were grumbling about water. Oh, look, there's the quail's beak. Should we staple it again? Probably. Okay, now here's the crazy part. You get to finish then coloring your paper bag all over how you think a quail would look. Ask an adult in your life to look up a picture of a quail on the internet and show it to you. They're cute little fat birds, so the Israelites probably were really thankful for them because there was a lot of meat on them. Oh, and then you're gonna need some eyes because birds have eyes. I have these cool little stickers, which is great. But I have a feeling that you know how to color and draw eyes, so you can do that. Either way, make your quail puppet today. Remember about how God provided for the Israelites and how He provides for you. And can't wait to see you soon. And have a great week, and I love you.
Hey, River West kids, I am here again to talk about the Wildfire Relief Fund. Remember, this month, the month of November, we are collecting items to love on people, to care for them. These are people that have lost their homes, they've lost everything. And as a church, we want to just come beside them and take care of some of their needs. So again, you can drop items off on Wednesdays between 9 and 3:30 right inside the church entrance. There's a bin there. And here are some ideas of things you could bring. They are looking for Band-Aids, all right? They're looking for hairbrushes. They are looking for educational items. This is a puzzle of the United States, but it could be anything that could be used to help kids in their school, flashcards, any kind of games that are educational. They're also looking for craft supplies, watercolors, markers, lots of options for you guys to bring in. And just put it on your parents' shopping list. Grab your parent right now if they're not watching with you. Remind them of the needs. And we just are excited to love on people in our state that need help. So I hope you guys will consider this and have a great rest of your day.
I'm ready. You guys ready?
I'm totally ready.
It's a happy day. Let's sing this out. Greatest day in history. Death is beaten, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. Empty cross, the empty grave. Life eternal, you have won the day. Shout it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Happy day, and oh, happy day, happy day. You wash my sin away. Oh, happy day, forever I am changed. I'll never be the same. When I stand in that place, realize meeting face to